I'm not going to lie to you, man. The whole point, the whole focus really of my training right now is these good mornings. The whole time as I was going to the gym today, I was thinking, good mornings, good mornings, good mornings. Let's think about that. That's the whole point of the session. Go through the deadlift. I hit 260 for the second time in 3 days. That was kind of all right, even though I wasn't really happy with that lift. Something happy with my freaking straps again. Lost the grip at the top, although I kind of locked it out. I'm happy with the lift, but I'm kind of unhappy with the lift. But yeah, these good mornings, even though they're taxing the living hell out of my hamstrings, they've been now sore for 4 or 5 days continuously, although the shock of that is kind of subsiding. I'm hitting them every day, basically barbell one day and then load them up the next day. But they seem to be not inhibiting my deadlifting. My deadlifting feels good. My hips feel good. My back feels good. But my hamstrings are fatigued. They really are fatigued. I have a mind-muscle connection with them. Every step I take, I can feel them. I can feel them moving. It's the whole hamstring. You know, like it's when you do leg curls, like the hamstring curl machine, I kind of feel it like really close to the knee. That's kind of where I feel the pressure of that. And I never freaking get DOMs from that. Like, it's incredible. Like, I've heard people talk about they get DOMs from leg curl machine. I've never got DOMs from that. These good mornings, I have soreness basically from my butt all the way down on both sides, the medial and the outer, the lateral side. Everything's sore. Literally wherever I touch, it's sore. It feels like the whole hamstrings is getting smashed. It's that eccentric loading that's just so powerful when it comes to building hamstrings. You know, so right now I'm thinking about smashing the hamstrings, getting them bigger, getting them visually bigger. So hypertrophy, strength, I want all of that. I'm listening to a lot of Louis Simmons, those interviews that he's done with the boys at Westside. Listen to the old, videos that he's had from the heyday, I guess, from Westside. Listening to Matt Wenning, listening to all these powerlifting guys, like geared powerlifters, and all they say, man, is like, this stuff is good, man. The good mornings are really, really good. But the very next thought is, okay, let's not get too crazy about this. This can mess you up. So it's kind of like this thought process going back and forth, back and forth. I want the hamstrings to look bigger. Right now, like when I look at myself in the mirror, I've got a whole bunch of quads and there is like no hamstrings. And these no hamstrings are making my butt look big because there's no hamstring. So I think there is a clear lack of hypertrophy in the hamstrings. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, so what the hell is getting this deadlift up all this time? What's doing the work around here, man? Okay, so I push off with my quads and then maybe I catch it with the glutes and then I finish it off. I'm thinking, what if I had another whole freaking muscle group and I strengthen that guy up to contribute? Man, what are the possibilities? It's an exciting thought. One of you guys said, linked a video from back, in the day where I was doing good mornings initially, and you were like, man, you're coming around to the same ideas, man. Man, oh man. If there's one thing that frustrates the living hell out of me is this idea that you might trip over the damn truth 10 times. 10 freaking times and you still won't see it. You're tripping over the damn thing. You're making contact with the thing. I'm doing these good mornings. I'm going through the range of motion, but there's no click. It's that same idea, man. You can sit somebody down. You can sit your kid down. You can sit anybody down and try and show them the light. But if they are not ready to accept that information, accept your ideas, you might as well be talking to a damn brick wall. They are not ready to receive. The receptors are not on for you. That whole receptor is just off. You can do whatever you want. Sometimes I make these, cyclical, evolutionary freaking patterns that keep coming around. And I keep saying, man, like, it's frustrating to me. But then, I was having a chat with my boys about this, and they were like, that's the natural law of learning, man. If we could just discover something for the first time and realize its full potential, that would be fantastic. But the case is not often like that. The case is that we leave that idea and we go down the road or up and around the block, and then come back and you're like, shit, man, I've done a whole freaking round of the block and there's nothing like this, man. But without that contrast, without that comparison, you don't really know what the hell you're dealing with, man. So I've done leg curls, I've done GHDs, I've done back raises, I've done hypers, I've done RDLs, I've done block pulls. Now I'm doing back good mornings again, and I'm like, well, shit, man, I've done all of these big guys, all of these big dudes. I've kind of been around all of these exercises, and nothing gets me like this. I've been around this. Okay, I might leave this again. Let's say I'm stupid enough to leave this idea again, and I go around the damn block again and again and again and again. I'll do 50 rounds. And each and every time I get reinforced with this idea that there's nothing damn better than this. Eventually, even a dumbo, man, even a dumb dude with no freaking intelligence, absolutely no intelligence, we were like, well, man, you're shitting me, man. Like, there's something to this, right? That's what I always say to you guys. Like, one of my frustrations is this very idea, because I feel like this. I am not the most intelligent guy in the world. No way, man. No way. I know where I stand in terms of, I've seen people that are much smarter. I've spoken to people that are much smarter. I know what that looks like. In heated situations, in a clinical environment, when people are just like bang, bang, bang. You know, I've seen people in action. I've seen people talk about ideas. I've seen what intelligence really looks like. I've seen it. I ain't that, you know? So I know where I am and what I'm working with. But one of the frustrations that I have, though, is, man, if Einstein ever fell into powerlifting and just or Olympic lifting or whatever, with that intellect, with that brain on his shoulders, he wouldn't need to walk around the damn block 1,000 damn times to realize, well, shit, man, when I get to this green door and I trip over this damn thing, something's up with this. He doesn't have to trip over the damn thing 1,000 times to learn that there is something there. You should probably step over it. That's my frustration. How many times do I have to bang my head on the wall to realize it's probably not a good idea to do that? That's the frustration that I feel. It's not this idea that I'm losing time or this idea that I've got to prove people wrong or whatever. Mate, all of that stuff about proving people wrong, man, that whole freaking boat has sailed, man. I'm a 33-year-old dude, man. My dreams of being an NBA player, long gone. Before that, my dreams of taking my country to FIFA World Cup and scoring the winning goal, long gone. All of these ideas have gone. Like now, man, like I'm just in this hobby and I've got this little puzzle that I want to solve for me. I'm learning about the body. A lot of you guys, not a lot of you guys, some of you guys think it's about the weight on the barbell. It's about publishing on Instagram, on YouTube. Look at me, how strong I am. No one gives a shit, man. No one gives a shit. I ain't going to squat or deadlift 400 kilos. There's freaking guys all around the place doing this stuff. That's not for me. I'm not into performance enhancing. I'm not into any of that. And so just on the merit of that, just on the basis of that, I'm not even invited to this damn party. So now we come back to my level of, you're doing this for you, to work out what the body is about. The barbell is just basically like a scientific experiment for me. What I'm really learning about is the body, how it likes to move, how is it comprised of like different parts, and what part really makes the thing go. Well, this dude said in the paper that hamstrings don't do shit. Really, man? They don't do shit. They just hang on like a freaking appendage. They just sit there freaking wasting damn blood circulation, eating those damn nutrients up that you eat, sitting there doing jack shit. Then I see this old dude tatted up. They call him Louis. He's got a whole bunch of strong dudes and girls in his gym, and he reckons the whole thing's about the damn hamstring. Oh shit, I better do that. I start doing hamstring, all of a sudden I'm feeling poppy around this place, man. I'm there skipping to the fridge in the morning. I'm feeling great, man. Feeling great. There's balance. That's what this is about to me, man. It's the frustration is there because I'm kind of revisiting these same ideas. And over time, like I've kind of, excluded some of these blocks, if you will. I don't walk around the same block all the time. But for some time now, you guys can appreciate this, that I've been walking around this posterior chain block for a little while now. I mean, that's what kind of sorted out the hip pain. That was the thing. I kind of was being around the posterior chain block for a little while. Man, how good does it feel to be pain-free? It feels great. Well, this deadlift business seems to be all right. And then you start learning more and more. What is it about the deadlift? Oh, the deadlift is such a compound movement, man. There's so many moving parts. Maybe it's the hamstrings, or maybe it's the glute. Maybe it's the glute medius, minimus. Maybe it's the TFL. Maybe I should hip flexors. No, I reckon it's the quads. And then it's kind of like you bounce around the walls like a freaking atom, right? It's funny how the thoughts kind of mimic the actual physical world, like the physics world, you know, the nuclear world. That's how thoughts are. You just bounce around the place like atoms, which we all are, made out of atoms. But now my bouncing around is kind of localized to an area of the posterior chain, and now I'm kind of looking into this hamstring idea. And now when I hear Louis Simmons talk about hamstrings, there is a different frequency that it's hitting me with. I'm like, hamstrings. My man. I've listened to this damn video probably 20 times. And now I'm like, these hamstrings, huh? You said hamstrings. Whereas before, you skim over that shit like it was nothing. You know, I don't know about you guys, man, but I've said this in the past, and a lot of you guys agreed. You could read the same book 10 times and get something different out of it every single time. Because just the virtue of reading, it's kind of like an exploration process where you read a page, it sets you off in a direction. You're in a different mood. You ate a different food. Your wife said something to you that triggered your mood, and you're in this state when you read this page. And then you come around to it another year later on, and you're reading it from a different perspective, different set of things that are fresher in your mind, more experience behind you, and it's kind of different. It's kind of like video games, man. When I first played Skyrim, it was like, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Now I play Skyrim, I'm a 33-year-old dude, right? I'm calmer, I'm wiser, I'm more intelligent, all that stuff. And it's a different experience. It's a different experience. Same thing with these damn exercises, man. The first time I ran good mornings, I was like, well, this, the first feeling was, well, this feels like I can step my spine with. And I never put any weight on, man. I never did any weight on it. I was just doing stiff-legged, as stiff as it gets, good mornings. They were kind of more the bar drifting over the toes. I wasn't really setting my butt back a bunch. And I remember I was also trying to keep, was it stiff legs? I'm thinking maybe there was a period I remember where I was trying to keep vertical shins, good mornings. That's the frustrating thing for me, because I'm just thinking if Einstein was here, he wouldn't have to walk around the damn thing 1,000 times to realize the whole block doesn't need to be walked. You just have to stay around this door called good mornings. This is the place we got to, go in and eat. And so now I'm kind of localizing on this hamstring business. And obviously, when you start something, and it feels good, like the initial feedback is good, it keeps you going. The true effect is going to be down the track. The true effect is going to be a little bit down the track to see what's really going on and what I can get out of this. But if you will, the initial reports coming in are really positive, and I'm feeling really good. And the hamstrings being on the map, every single step I take also feels really good. But that's the cool thing about all of this. And you guys that have watched me for a long time, listened to my ideas for a long time, you would understand what this whole thing is about. It's not about what some people criticize me about, like this shit doesn't work or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Man, I'm not an expert, dude. I'm just telling you guys the process of working out. I am working this shit out live, like you are working your shit live. I doubt any world record holder freaking 1,000-pound squat is listening to me, because it's probably not right information for them. I don't know. I could be mistaken, but I'm somebody that loves the game that you love, okay? You wouldn't be listening to this if you didn't love the game. I love this game. I love the act of trying to get better. You might be going down the left road, I'm going the right road. It doesn't really matter. We still love the game. Love the game, and I'm telling you about what I'm doing. Some of you guys tell me what you're doing, and it's a beautiful thing for me, man. That's what I love. And sometimes I think to myself, like, I'm 33, I said, it's not that it's late for me to do amazing things in powerlifting, but, I don't have that fire like it's all or nothing. It's not like that. A part of me feels like the boat's kind of a little bit sailed because I'm quite late to the party. Does not matter. I still love it to the bone. But part of me thinks to myself, man, if one of my kids ever wants to do this and they start doing this, they're going to have somebody in their life that's going to go, Dad, man, what do you reckon this shit is about? And I'm going to be like, son, sweetie, or daughter, hamstrings. I want you to squat a whole bunch. The more the merrier. Let's say you squat 5 days a week. You don't have to do what crazy dad did. Maybe in 5 years' time I'll have a different opinion on that. Who knows? But you got to smash those damn hamstrings. Oh, Dad, what do you reckon I should do? Should I do that else? You can walk around the block, son, as much as you want, man. I've done my walks. You can walk. But I reckon it's the hamstrings, and I've had most success with that. I never had that. This is the thing. I might have had that because, I listened to Louis back in the day, but he fell on deaf ears, man. I'm like, oh, yeah, no worries, hamstrings. Yeah, that's cool, man. Like, I wasn't receptive to that information. So maybe my son is going to be the same. Although when somebody's in flesh in front of you, when somebody's your father, when somebody's your son, there's a different weight to the words. It's not like this indirect thing, some guy somewhere else that moves the barbell in a disgusting way that you don't like that barbell to be moved in. So it took me a long time for me to warm up to Louis and Louis' ideas. It was only through the act of going on this journey myself and kind of going back and seeing what Louis is saying, and I'm like, man, I reckon Louis is right, man. Everything that I'm kind of feeling around here feels like exactly what he's talking about. So I've kind of done the long process of working out the Louis legit. It's not the gear that makes these people strong. It's not the steroids. It's like, man, something to this, man. You could pop all sort of steroids you want, but if you ain't doing the right work, you're not going to be strong. Sometimes I feel like I'm a stepping stone for my kids' future or for my nieces and nephews' future. That excites me. If I can just be in the game, whatever capacity, whether I'm doing it or whether I'm a really good resource for somebody else, that makes me happy. And that's what makes me happy of sharing everything I know about this on the fly to you guys. Because to me, you are not my competition, man. You're not. I don't care. Like, I don't even want to go compete, man. We all know what the world records is, man. Why should I compete for the freaking local bloody regional title where we all know what the world title is, man? I feel like don't worry about it until you're in the contest of breaking the world record. And when you are, just go to the damn competition and smash it. That's how I feel. That's why competing with you, no, man, I want to compete with Ray Williams. Like, that's the best squatter. I want to go there. And I'll never get there, so what's the point? That's kind of how I think about it. I don't want to just go to I wouldn't mind going to a powerlifting meet just for the people, to meet you guys, some of you guys to compete. I'm like, sharing ideas, that fact is that, but the idea of going and trying to put on another kilo on my PR, whatever, man, it's 100 freaking kilos off the damn thing, of the world record, probably much higher than that anyway. Anyway, that's how I think about it sometimes. I get frustrated about the time that it takes for me to walk around all these ideas all the time to work things out. But then I kind of get calm because I'm like, really, like, all this time that I'm doing, I'm just a building block for somebody else. And that makes me happy. I don't even need to get recognized by these people. Maybe one day will thank me. Maybe they won't. I'll know the effect that I have on people around me. And that's a really cool thing, man. Because deep down, everyone knows who means what to them. You know what I mean? I am the same. I'm like you. I'm human. When I close my eyes, I know the people who have made a difference in my life. And, I think the goal is to have as many of those people in your life as possible, like the other way around, like you make an impact on somebody else. If I can have 3 or 4 people, like when they close their eyes, they're like, man, Ivan hooked me up, man. I'll forever be grateful for him. That's a cool feeling for me, helping people out. Because in a way, you're part of that success. I think that's what coaching is. That's what, team environments are. That's what team sports are about for me. Even if you're on the bench, warming it up like a beast with your fat ass, warming that shit up for the whole season. You haven't played a minute. To some degree, you're part of that success, man, because you were guarding that guy in training. You were making it hard for him, your star player. You were making it hard for him to score. And then he goes on the court and he's killing everyone. You're like, man, I'm better than some of those other opponents that he's playing against. I'm part of his success because I've prepared him to smash these guys. That's kind of what I see with sports. It's kind of what I see with coaching and all of this. This is There's no time pressure for me, man. Okay, I might not work it out, but I'll take everything that I've worked out. I'll take all the working out and hand it over to my son, to my daughter. And I'll be like, guys, man, continue on. Maybe you'll ride the conclusion yourself, and then you'll go to the top. Lots of ideas, lots of thoughts. Got a new guy on Patreon. Another name, man. It continues. This person's name is Eminem. MM. Now, I don't think that's Slim Shady. If it is, respect, man. Big fan of yours, Slim. Big fan of yours, man. I reckon you're the GOAT in my mind. But if it's not Slim Shady, it's okay. I appreciate you for taking the time out of your day to go into this damn Patreon thing and supporting me, some guy that's walking around the block 1,000 damn times comparing stiff-legged deadlifts, rack pulls, good mornings, hyper 45s, back extensions, going back to good mornings and be like, nah, it's not good mornings. I reckon it's the RDLs. Oh, it's not definitely the RDLs. It's got to be the quads. Nah, it's the calves. Some of you guys make fun of me for that. Man, I laugh at myself. And last video, the video before, I said I'm onto something again, man. MM, I want to thank you for jumping on board and saying, basically, I support you in this crazy thinking that you have, because I think ultimately we all have these crazy thoughts and none of us really know the answers because there's so much variation. So I feel like another name's on the list, another name adds to the brainstorming party that we all are in this channel is. Anyway, gonna wrap this up. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate everyone else on the list. Appreciate the comments. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.